Hello and welcome to Carolina Island. I am your concierge. My name is Christina and I am so excited to be helping you with your vacation and making your vacation exactly what you want it to be. I know that you just got here. How are you settling into your room? Great. Do you like your room? Excellent. Well, the first part of what I have to show you are some available room upgrades that you can choose if you would like for one day, for a couple of days, for your entire stay. Best to show you your options before you get completely unpacked. First, of course, welcome to Carolina Island. So our available room upgrades. One option for you would be the fountain room. The fountain room is located on the ground floor, right on the beach, so that's a lovely feature. And it also features a large fountain. The cost of upgrading to the fountain room is $129 per night. Oh, yes, this is the night charge, as in medieval nights. We do have an option here at Carolina Resort to have a night or a trained security guard stand outside of your room at all times. He does wear metal to give you the feeling of being royalty in a bygone era, and that's quite the bargain. For only $129 more a night, you could have knights stationed outside of your room. But for the fountain room in particular, that's going to be another $300 per night. And then we have another option that's a bit of a different vibe, and that is the mystery room. The mystery room includes an interactive murder mystery. So if you were to choose the mystery room, as soon as you would check in, there would be an actor portraying a dead body, and you would then solve the mystery from there. It's a very immersive experience. Some of my guests that choose to stay in the mystery room do say that it kind of dominates the experience of Carolina Island, dominates the experience of Carolina Island, dominates their resort experience as well. So it is very interactive, it is very immersive. It would be the main thing that you would be doing here would be to solve that mystery. But some people, that's their dream. They love it. Oh, let's see. The pricing's not listed, but from my recollection, that's an additional $129 a night. We do have to pay the performers. Okay, so then another option would be the lavender room. The lavender room is just gorgeous, as you can imagine. It is decked out in lavender from head to toe. Theoretical, figurative head to toe. The room doesn't have an actual head or actual toes. The paint is also lavender in that room. The bedding is lavender. It's all very purple girly. And it also includes 18 bundles of lavender. And there is a luxury excursion to a lavender farm that you can go on at no additional charge if you do choose the lavender room. The next potential upgrade would be the boat room that is located off property, but not very far off property, just off the beach, and it is an actual boat. You would be sleeping on a boat. It's kind of the best of both worlds. This is an all-inclusive resort. A lot of people have trouble choosing between an all-inclusive resort and a cruise. So this gives you kind of the best of both worlds. You would have the rocking of the ship, but you would be able to get off the boat at any point, day or night, and come onto land. Okay, and then our next and I believe final option for room upgrades is the Governor's Suite. The Governor's Suite is not named the Governor's Suite because it has any specific connection to government or to any governor or person in politics. The room has no political affiliation. It is connected to a conference room, which is why we call it the Governor's Suite. So it makes it very easy to have meetings, conference calls. If you anticipate there will be a lot of instances during this trip where you're pulled away because of business, this is a great room for that. Of course, you can stay right here at the resort for your entire stay, should that be your preference, but we also have a ton of excursions available. Carolina Island is a stunning, beautiful, gorgeous island, and we have a ton of history here and a lot of beautiful architecture, a lot of excellent restaurants and things to do. So should that be something you're interested in, I will show you our excursion options now. One potential excursion that happens every single day. We have a bus going out to this excursion. It is Tommy's Train. Excursions start at only $20. You can ride a train around some of the mountains here on the island. You can get some gorgeous views of the island. There's also a museum attached to Tommy's Train. It is in one of the cars, and in that museum is a very, very brief history of Carolina Island. A lot of people find that the train ride just gives them a chance to really take in the entire place. And then another one of our excursions is called New York Lighthouse. You can visit New York Lighthouse starting at $45. It is a replica of a lighthouse that can be found somewhere in New York. Kind of a puzzle of like, which New York lighthouse is this one based off of? And you can solve that puzzle when you visit. Yeah, it starts at $45. You can go in the lighthouse. You can go up to the top. You can ring a little bell. You can come back down. Okay. Another one of our fabulous excursions here is Carolina Park. Carolina Park is a great place to meet people. It is not safe after dark. I do recommend that if you want to visit Carolina Park, which you absolutely should visit it if you want to, because it is stunning and gorgeous and a green spot amongst all the sand here on the island. But it is incredibly dangerous after dark. Yeah. Don't go after dark, okay? Unless you're looking to participate in unsavory activities, then yes, I would go at dark, but I would also perhaps buy a night package and bring the night with you. A K-N-I-G-H-T in that situation. Okay. Another of our two popular excursions are small waterfall. Excursions to the small waterfall start at $99.99. It's quite the trek to get out to the small waterfall, but it is a petite wonder to behold. And the cost reflects the trek. It is a 2-hour trip one way and a 2-hour trip the other way. It has been called the longest trip one can take on Carolina Island, and that's because it is the longest trip that one can take on Carolina Island. If you have seen a map of the island, which I don't have one with me unfortunately, it's shaped like an egg. Oh, I do have a picture, I believe. Yes, it's shaped quite similarly to an egg. And the resort is located here, and the small waterfall is located right here, so the furthest possible distance from each other. And then you could also, if you don't have time for the small waterfall, go to the large waterfall. The price to go to the large waterfall starts at $199.99, but it is a much shorter distance. The reason that it is more expensive to get there is because the distance is through some deep jungle-ish type of foliage. So the guide has to hack and hack and hack, and that hurts the arm. But don't worry, you don't have to hack. The guide will hack for you, and the hacking, that's what makes it cost $199.99. Okay, another one of the stunning and gorgeous excursions that you can go on while you're here if you're interested is the ocean. And you can go out on one of our boats. They range in size from small to large, and experience the ocean starting at only $29.99. That's a steal. So you would go on a boat. The small ones don't have motors and they don't go out very far. You're paddled out a little ways and you experience being in the ocean that way, but the larger boats do have motors and they can go quite far and they can go quite high. You can kind of jump over the waves. You wouldn't be allowed to drive the boat unless you have a boating license that's valid on Carolina Island. So you can do an hour-long trip for $29.99. That would be in one of the paddle boats. I believe it's $39.99 to be on a speedboat. And for the giant old-timey sailboat, I believe that is $49.99. If you would like to go on an excursion, but you don't want to pay any additional money for an excursion on your trip, don't worry, because one free excursion is included with the price of your stay. Now, it says a free excursion. It's not exactly free. You've just already paid for it with the price of your stay. The excursion is unfortunately limited to the 4 excursions that are a part of our excursion program. If none of the excursions in our excursion program appeal to you, you have another option that is not advertised very boldly, and that would be a spa treatment. A spa treatment of equivalent value to one of the excursions, and that usually ends up being a 90-minute massage. So after I show you all of this, if you decide that you don't want to do any of these excursions, don't let that money that you've already paid go to waste. Know that you can use that money towards a spa treatment and also towards a private cabana for a day. So the price of the excursion is the same as the price of one day in a cabana that's private. It's like a bed on the beach. It's lovely. Okay, but this is the 4 excursions are lovely excursions. So Prairie Park, which is super fun if you have kids. It is like the Oregon Trail. I know you've got these covered wagons, very prairie style, but without any of the disease or the death, and none of the discomfort of those times. Just the experience of riding in a covered wagon for a bit. And there's also, several prairie-themed activities to do when you're out there. This is a great one for kids. It is not the best one for older folks, so if you have any elders in your party or anybody that has a little bit of difficulty walking, there's a lot of steep and mountainous parts before you get to the part where you get on the saddle or get in the, what's that called? Not a saddle, the wagon. There we go. Okay, there's also the rooftop pool. We have plenty of pools here on property, but none of them are on top of a roof. Rooftop pool is actually the name of the establishment bar venue that is on top of the roof. And included with that excursion is 3 drink tickets. And you would be at the rooftop pool, at the rooftop bar, and you can use the drink tickets to have a day there. It is a place that locals of Carolina Island go to when they want to take Instagram pictures, so you can get a vibe for like what it would be like there. It'd be a great place to kind of look cool and be seen looking cool. Okay, so also included in this day are the Slightly Scary Forest. This is one of the excursions you can choose. The Slightly Scary Forest is just the right amount of scary for the whole family. It's just a forest not far from here. It's about a 20-minute drive, and the trees are kind of just twisted in a way that's a little bit scary. The last time I went, they did have some, some witch-themed things that you could do in the Slightly Scary Forest. There's a little witch's store. There's some potion brewing, which is just making kombucha. They show you how to make your own kombucha there. So there's a lot of different things you can do there. You can easily waste a couple of hours, a whole day. And then finally is the sunflower fields. Giant sunflowers at the sunflower fields. Personally, I have a very difficult time looking at this image, and this is not an excursion I would ever go on. I find giant sunflowers to be quite nauseating in their intensity. Yeah, I think this sunflower field is about 1,000 times scarier than the Slightly Scary Forest. But if it's for you, no judgment. I just truly could not hate anything more than I hate sunflowers. Okay, so those are all the options in terms of the included excursion. Did any of those appeal to you? Yeah, that's kind of typically the case. I will make sure to schedule a spa treatment for you. We'll get to that after I show you some of the restaurants that we have at the resort. I'm going to show you some of our options for resort dining, places that you can eat at. The cost of the meal is already completely included in the price of your stay, so there's no money exchanged. You just eat a lovely meal. I, for the life of me, cannot find any maps of our lovely resort. Somebody has run off with all of them. So I got a little whiteboard, and I will be kind of drawing a makeshift map of the resort for you and showing you where these restaurants are in relation to your room. Alright, so the first is the Pink Cafe. It's mostly fish on the menu in terms of main courses. It's mostly fish, salmon, a lot of salmon. Salmon, I think 8 different ways at the Pink Cafe because salmon's pink. No steak. I know that steak can be pink, but it is not offered at the Pink Cafe. They have tiny, tiny cakes there, the size, ranging in size from like the size of my fingertip. You can get a cake that tiny for someone with a sweet tooth, the size of a pinprick, I guess. But I love the texture of putting a bunch of the tiny cakes in my mouth at once. They don't necessarily approve of this eating a bunch of tiny cakes at once, but I do it anyways. I would say my good number of cakes to have in my mouth at once is 12. Okay, so let me draw you a little map to show you where the Pink Cafe is. So we have the A block of rooms, the B block of rooms, and the C block of rooms. All of our rooms are oceanfront rooms, which is one of the beautiful things about the Carolina Resort. So we've got the beach here. Your room is in the C block, and the pink cafe, there's some sidewalks and stuff, so the sidewalk that goes here, and then it goes diagonal from in between C block and B block of rooms. If you go all the way up that sidewalk, the pink cafe is up here. It's kind of on a little hill. It's very cute. Okay, I'll keep the map and I'll show you where the next restaurant is after I tell you a little bit about it. Okay, our next restaurant is our fanciest restaurant. It is called Salut, which I believe is French for hello. It is limited seating, reservation required, and no toes. This is a big one because a lot of ladies come here with a lot of open-toed shoes, and I don't feel it's properly advertised on the resort's website that we do have. One of our biggest restaurants is a no-toe restaurant. You have to have closed-toed shoes. They have some inserts that convert open-toed shoes to closed-toed shoes available for purchase at the gift shop. They're hideous, but if you didn't bring any shoes that have closed toes, you will need those in order to visit Salut. But Salut's food is French infusion, so that means steak. There's a chicken cordon bleu. There is an omelette, but the fusion part is there's a lot of Asian inspirations at Salut as well. But they have this lovely drink. It's called the Fizzy Wizzy. I recommend the Fizzy Wizzy. Have 3 Fizzy Wizzies. You won't care what you're eating. Oh, let me show you where Salut is. Okay. So Salut is a beachfront restaurant, but it is down here, so you can walk on the beach to get to Salut. You can also walk behind the buildings. There's an additional sidewalk there, and it will eventually lead to Salut. Okay, let's show you the next must go. Okay, make sure you stop by the cheesecake stand. The cheesecake stand at all times of the day and night is open. 24 hours the cheesecake stand is open, and it is at all times serving 6 to 10 flavors of cheesecake. My favorite is the chocolate mousse cheesecake. You've got to try it. My second favorite is the brambleberry. It's here for a limited time, and it's lovely. They have some fall-inspired cheesecakes right now that they're cycling in and out. The apple cinnamon is delightful. The pumpkin. I've had better pumpkin cheesecakes. You know, we don't have pumpkins naturally here on the island, so I just think it's not exactly our forte. I'll tell you what is our forte in terms of the cheesecake stand. If when you visit the cheesecake stand, they have the strawberry lemonade cheesecake, I know it sounds disgusting to some people. It couldn't be more beautiful. It couldn't be more perfect. I love it. Let me show you where the cheesecake stand is. Okay. So if you go over here, there's a quadrant of different stores and little restaurants, on-site shopping, stuff like that. The cheesecake stand is in between a jewelry store. I believe it is called Carolina Jewels. And then there's the cheesecake stand in the middle. It really is just a stand, so you can't go inside it. But it is in between a jewelry store, Carolina Jewels, and kind of a caftan store. They sell other things in there, but always in the window is a caftan. So, right here, cheesecake stand, must visit. Absolutely a must visit for your trip. Unless you don't like cheesecake, in which case, yeah, don't go. Okay? Alright. This is another restaurant at the resort. It is called the Pepper Palace. It is nothing but peppers, and I cannot emphasize that enough. You cannot find anything else there. This resort kind of goes very heavy into the nothing but kinds of restaurants, like the nothing but cheesecake at the cheesecake stand, and at Pepper Palace. Everything is pepper based, everything is pepper focused, everything is pepper first. Not just is everything got peppers in it, everything peppers are the star. The chef at this restaurant, he's kind of a mad genius. The things he does with peppers. You had no idea that a pepper could act that way, that a pepper could be that. Yes, the Pepper Palace. I don't really need to draw this for you. You really can't miss it. The Pepper Palace is shaped like a giant pepper, and it is located in between A and B block of rooms, kind of behind the sidewalk, not on the beach. Okay. And then we only have one more restaurant at the resort, and that is the backyard. American staples are served at the backyard. The decor is lovely. The vibes are lovely. The bugs are not lovely. Yeah, because it's a backyard. It's a backyard theme. So it's tables on grass. Bugs happen there. Bugs really do happen there. Just be aware of that. If you do want to go to the backyard, douse yourself in bug spray. The food is worth it. The atmosphere is so cute. Just, very bug friendly in terms of restaurants. I almost forgot to show you where the backyard is. It is in the backyard of the Pink Cafe. So they're like one and the same. They're not the same restaurant. They serve entirely different food. But the backyard is set up to look like the Pink Cafe's backyard. Okay, so just go in the direction of Pink Cafe and it's behind it. Alright. So that's the restaurants that we have here. And then of course we have, and those are just the restaurants with sit-down eating options. I shouldn't have erased my map. But yeah, I'll just draw it really quick again, just the C block, the B block, and the A block of rooms on the beach. Okay. In between, and then the Pepper Palace is right there, but in between are two of our restaurants, and they are buffet style, and they serve the same thing at both. So it's just a matter of, whatever the line is looking like in terms of waiting to be seated. And in terms of seating, it's just, there is someone that seats you, but it's not really competitive. In the same way that the other restaurants are. They have everything under the sun at the buffet. They have meats. A whole corner of both buffets is just every kind of meat. Not a great place for a vegan, or somebody that's upset by meat, because it's just kind of out all over the place in that buffet. But on the opposite end, on the opposite corner of the meat, perhaps intentionally on the opposite corner, I'm not sure, I haven't spoken with the planners of the resort, is the vegan corner. And there's just so many grains there. Grains I've never tried in any other capacity besides when I'm feeling quite healthy and I stop by the vegan corner. Both of the buffet restaurants, which are called A and B, which is confusing, of course, because we have A block, B block, and C block of rooms, but then we have restaurant A and restaurant B. The owner of the resort was very much into like Thing 1 and Thing 2 by Dr. Seuss, and that was his thinking behind restaurant A and restaurant B, is that they're two sides of the same coin. But yes. I don't remember what we were talking about in particular about the buffets, but they're both available to you. Oh, the time, of course, the times that they're open. The buffets open at 6 a.m. They close at midnight. So there's just 6 hours in which the staff is not manning the helms at the buffet. The breakfast buffet, you couldn't ask for anything better, but I would, if you have time over your trip, schedule at least one morning breakfast at the Pink Cafe, because it's truly the meal that the Pink Cafe does best is breakfast. And the emphasis on fish really isn't there at the breakfast time the way it is in the lunchtime and for the dinner time. Okay. Now, I'll type all this up later, but let me just, on my whiteboard, I'll write down what we need to do in terms of, I know that you wanted, instead of the free excursion, to have a spa treatment. We have a few different options in terms of spa treatment that you could choose. You could choose the full body massage, you could choose a back massage, you could choose to get 2 different esthetician services. So that includes facials, detoxifying, masks, and things like that. Things that take, like 45 minutes. So you essentially have 90 minutes worth of points at the spas. So all the spas open at 8 a.m. Besides on Sunday, there is the 7 a.m. good morning treatment. But they open at 8 a.m. They close at around 6 p.m. There are some nights with some special, like late night spa services. I believe there's the rocks yoga. Rocks yoga happens at the spa. It's hot rocks and yoga at the same time. Can be kind of dangerous, but also very exhilarating and very calming. And that's at nighttime, I believe Thursday at 8 p.m. Okay, so I know that you're here for an entire 7 days. How incredible, how lovely. Do you want to go ahead and schedule your spa treatment now? Yeah, I would recommend it. There's a lot of people here looking for spa treatments, and if you book it now and you book it for the end of your stay, we can guarantee that you get with the best monsieur at the entire resort. She's a lot harder to get than the rest of the employees. Not that the other employees are bad, they're just, she trained all of them, right? So if I were myself, if I were anyone else, I would want the person who trained everybody else to be the person that's in charge of my massage. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I believe we should be able to make that happen. If not, I'll call your room, but I can nearly guarantee that at noon on Friday, I can schedule you with her. Her name is Pam. Okay. And your room is looking good, and we don't want to do any room upgrades? Yeah. Your room is lovely. Once I heard that you were in the palm tree suite, I knew that you would not be changing suites. I do have to show you the room upgrades anyway, though. Okay. Do you want to make any reservations for any restaurants while you are here, or would you like to kind of feel it out? Yeah. No, you shouldn't need a reservation for the Pink Cafe at lunch. You don't need a reservation for the Pink Cafe most night times either. I would say mainly just on Saturdays. you do need one. But it's mainly Salou that you should book a good 4 days beforehand. So if you do want to go to Salou while you're on this trip, I would book it right now. Okay? Yeah, go to the spa on Friday and then an evening at Salou. Sounds good. All of the reservations are standard there, so it's either a 5 p.m. reservation, a 7:30, or a 10 o'clock if you're a late eater. Yeah, 7:30 makes sense. The other two don't. Okay, and that's on a Friday too. I'll make sure to get that in the system. All right. Well, dear, I think that we have covered most everything that we need to cover in terms of your vacation, and I'm sure that you're done talking to me, boring your ear off about all of these things. I want you to have an excellent vacation, and remember, my name is Christina. I am your concierge for the entire time that you are here. If you have anything that you want or need, I can help you out with that. If you have anything that would make your stay brighter, happier, better, I can make that happen as well. And if you run into any dietary needs, if you want any food brought in from off-site, I can certainly arrange that as well. There's really not a lot of limit to what I can do here at the Carolina Resort for you. Okay? Don't forget to like and subscribe. That'll really help me keep track of you. Okay? So like and subscribe as soon as you can. And I'm so happy for you, my dear. I couldn't be happier.